Good morning, guys. What's going on? It's your boy Sydney here with you. And today I wanted to have a little chat to you guys about Anzac Day. But before I do, I wanted to mention, especially to those of you guys who are based in Sydney, and you know I talk about masculinity, about the importance of being a man all the time, maybe in not those explicit terms, but it's something that I focus very heavily on because it is critical to men. Now, my good friend Stand Up Men is actually doing a really cool presentation, and there's no cost to join, but I really recommend any of you guys who this interests you, go check it out. It's on May 10th at 7:30 in Sydney, 7:30 p.m. And it's all about the art of solo travel and how to be a man, what your father never taught you. He teaches the secrets of solo travel, how to get out of your comfort zone, tips and tricks, where to go, when, and how to go there. Then he'll talk about how to be a man, what your father never taught you. Manhood. What is a man? How to be a man. 2. Women in relationships and sex. 3. Media manipulation and indoctrination via movies. 4. Health, food, and exercise, and why you should do these things. 5. Money, wealth, what you need to know and what you're not taught at school, and that's a big thing. I totally agree with that. 6. Value. What value is and why it's so important in all aspects of life. 7. How to overcome depression and fear. 8. Happiness and fulfillment. And that's at, as I said, guys, at is it 10 Shepherd Street, Chippendale, which is next to Broadway. For those of you guys who live in Sydney, 10th of May at 7:30 p.m. Free coffee and cakes. At the end of the seminar, seminar meeting, you'll receive some cool free shit. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to put that out there because, as I said, Stand Up Men is a good buddy of mine. Very good man with very good intention. Let's talk about Anzac Day. Okay, let's talk about Anzac Day. So, for those of you guys who don't know what Anzac stands for, it stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps. And Anzac Day is an annual event on the 25th of April, which is typically begun by what we call a dawn service, where there is a commemorative service at the break of dawn in the morning, and people get out of bed early every single 25th of April to go to that, and it is a public holiday in Australia. And what Anzac Day essentially commemorates and is all about, it's commemorating the sacrifices of those Australian and New Zealand soldiers who have fought in all wars collectively, the lives that have been lost, and the sacrifices, and I guess what was given by those people who served in them, and what had to be endured by the families of those who were lost. And I wanted to talk to you as well about and this made me shake my head. A friend of mine messaged me and said, "Hey Scott, I need your diplomatic eye." She works for I can't say exactly which company it is, but it's basically a company where there is basically a company where, without giving it away, it's like a sub branch of this particular company, which essentially in one way or another tries to save lives. Can't really give more detail otherwise than they give it away. I don't want to dox her just for being the topic of my story today. Now, she came to me and she said, "Look, I need to write a post for Anzac Day that's sensitive, like one that doesn't offend anyone." So that makes sense, especially with all the SJWs. They'll go spastic on someone. Hang on a second. I'm just seeing the bus. It says, "I might say you don't understand, but that doesn't mean I don't want you to try." Whoa, that's heavy. It's for reachout.com. It's talking about kids that are struggling. Should do a video on that. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was talking about. Sorry, you know how I love to get sidetracked, guys. I was talking to this girl and she said, this is what I've come up with so far. I said, "Look, give me half an hour and I'll come back to you." So I came back to her and I said, "I've got this for you." I said, "Every day we're trying to save lives. So today, let's commemorate those people that sacrificed theirs for ours X amount of years ago. And she said, oh, you know, you're a fucking genius. You know, you are absolutely brilliant. And to be honest, she's right. I am brilliant. And I had a little bit of a look at it. It's kind of cool. Had a little bit of a look at it over and over again. I was like, yep, nailed it. Can't wait to see this post up on their social media page. I might even just jump on Facebook for the day just to see my handiwork. Now, in the same way that we've got things like, you know, catchphrases like Merry Christmas for Christmas, lest we forget is what's typically used on Anzac Day. It's L-E-S-T, we forget. Basically saying, you know, let's not forget the sacrifices that were made. Anyway, not only was this girl I know being put to work by her female boss to come up with this, and you know, basically she was given quite a significant amount of time to come up with one line to put on the Facebook page. But on top of that, in the end, she ended up overruling everything that had been submitted and just wrote, lest we forget. It's like the most pointless Facebook post ever. It's like, you know when, for those of you guys who still do use Facebook, you know when it's your birthday and everyone just goes happy birthday on your Facebook page and that's it, you don't hear from them for another year? Same shit, right? And it just leaves me gobsmacked every single time. Just leaves me gobsmacked. The way that just goes down like that. And you know, these people don't care. And you've got this woman who's hired to manage this girl, and between the both of them, they come up with lest we forget. Gee, so fucking original. And I'm starting to see more and more and more and more and more of these roles being created for people, just for the sake of creating roles, just for the sake of actually, just for the sake of quotas and diversity, and for, you know, being accommodating by providing people with a job that that is fun for them, that they like to do, that they enjoy, that provides no fiscal benefit to the company whatsoever, and therefore no purpose as an employee. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my understanding of being employed is that I actually provide something of value to my employer if I'm working in that, right? Exactly right, Harmonic Live. How many women died in wars? And look, I'm not going to discredit the women who actually served in the forces. Right? I wouldn't. Technically, they did serve in wars, some of them. Obviously, it was a minority of the overall defense forces, but there were some women who served in the armed forces, just not on the front line. And while feminists would argue that that's patriarchy holding them back, well, I'm going to argue it's not such a bloody bad thing to not have women serving on the front line. Not because some of them can't do it, but because, you know, who's gonna have the babies? I mean, like, honestly, if guys could have kids, shit, man, I'd be a single dad. I get the benefits of not getting fucked over and having kids at the same time. But and I would make sure that they have positive female role models in their life, right? Not one, rather than alienating every single woman from my life, right? You can't do that to kids. It's just wrong. Oh, Taz, I don't want to think of where the baby would come out from, man. I'm pretty sure that I would need to be born with different anatomy for that to happen. As long as it doesn't change my neurology. Taz, Mr. Winky's probably almost Mr. Winky's probably almost big enough to spit out a baby anyway. But no, seriously, you know, MGTOW Templar says female employees are pro at yapping, and pro at ensuring construction projects fall apart. Something I've noticed over the years, I've been working for the best part of 20 years now, and I've always worked hard, and it's becoming harder and harder to get and keep a job, especially with all of this political
Use the left lane to take the James Roos Drive slip road.
Especially with all these women in the workplace, and you're having to tread on eggshells. When I've developed a very strong personality over the years, as you guys have probably already picked up. And we look at this, right? And we say, oh, well, it's equality for everyone, and, largely I agree. But what I would say to you is, how many men have you seen crying in the office, crying in the workplace, going home because they got period pain? I know that men can't have periods, but if we did, we'd probably be a lot less likely to go home. Because we know the importance of working hard and struggling through things. Especially the younger female generation of today, and the older generations have started to pick up on this as well. I'd say they've actually well and truly picked up the ball and started to run with it. They know that they can basically just get away with, just get away with being the victim, saying, oh, it's my woman's week, I need to go home. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, you go home. I'm so upset, I'm just really having a hard time at home. Oh, it's okay, go home. It's okay, go home, we'll pay you, no problem. How many times do you see men doing that shit? Pulling the tears. Mate, when you see a man pulling the tears, you know that there's some serious next level shit going down in his life. See a woman pulling the tears, she's had a fight with a boyfriend. Come on. I've seen it so many times, to the point where it's just ridiculous. Taz says, what scares women more? Sex bots, artificial wombs, or dying alone with 20 plus cats? Well, I would say that all of those things would scare them, but they don't think it's going to happen to them. And they don't think it's going to happen to them because we actually live in a society, we live in a time where they've been told, oh, it's okay, that's fine, don't worry, it's all fine, no problem. It's okay, everything's okay. You're beautiful, any guy would be lucky to have you. It's like, okay, you've got single mothers. Right, single mothers, and I mean, when I say single mothers, oh shit, where am I meant to be turning here? Nope, I'm good. Alright, cool. So when I say single mothers, I'm talking like single mothers that are, emotionally, they're carrying a lot of baggage, they've got kids, they're currently destroying their ex-partner's lives. I'm not saying all single mothers do this, but there's a large proportion that do.
In 500 meters, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto Great Western Highway, Parramatta Road.
I see which way Google Maps is taking me this morning. Well played, Google Maps. Well played. So yeah, I mean, these women who are narcissists, who've got a couple of kids, who are destroying their ex-partner's life, who have smashed the wall head on, who are in their 40s, who are no longer physically attractive, their fertility is withering and dying, and the biological urge that we men have to go after these women is basically withered down to almost zero, because of how attraction works. And they're turning around and they're saying, oh, I'm not going to settle for second best. It's like, well, maybe you need to settle for second best. Maybe if you actually want to find someone, you're going to need to make some sacrifices. Right? You're going to need to make some sacrifices. You might need, as a single mother with 3 kids, you might need to accept that you might be dating a single dad with someone else's kid. As a single mother with 3 kids, right, who's 40 years old, you may need to accept the fact that you're probably not as attractive as the 25-year-old with no kids. right, that doesn't rely on their ex-partner to provide a living for them, that doesn't rely on the government, right? Man, let me give you the hot tip, right? I'm a 38-year-old dude. If I got a single mother that's 38 years old hitting me up, got 3 kids, alienating her father, she's a narcissist, it's all about her, I'm the one that's gonna make all the sacrifices, I gotta pay for everything while she's getting the ex-partner to pay for child support, while she's, you know, digging into Tyrone's pocket. You think I'm gonna step up to the plate? Hell no. You think a woman would step up to the plate if the man had 3 kids and was alienating the mother of his 3 kids and was relying on her for financial support and relying on the government and then sponging off you as well? No woman's gonna even think about taking that deal, so why do they expect men to take it time and time and time again? You best believe I'm staying away. So I mean, look, if you're putting 2 on the table, right, and you're putting this woman I'm talking about, the 38-year-old with the 3 kids, doesn't look that great anymore, relies on the government, relies on the ex-partner, and relies on me, and then you put the other option on the table. Got a hot little 25-year-old girl, looks after herself, stays fit, cooks for me, appreciates me, enjoys sex, has compassion for other people. And these people are rare, by the way. Has compassion for other people. You know, knows that she's got to keep up the fitness regime, otherwise she's going to become unattractive. She knows that she's got to provide for herself. She knows that I'm not going to pick up the tab every time. She wants to contribute. Right? Because anti-feminist women who are starting to pick up in numbers, let me tell you, anti-feminist women in the youth, the new conservative generation, which we're seeing starting to come up, right? And these women are earning more than the smart ones know it. The feminists think that they're earning like fucking 77 cents on the dollar for the same work, and they're just morons. They got no idea. They've just listened to all the bullshit at uni. Their IQ is probably that of an eggplant. And if it's not, they've been completely indoctrinated before they had a chance to think for themselves. So, I mean, if it's between the 25-year-old girl with no kids, 38-year-old with 3 kids, 25-year-old girl that's hot, 38-year-old girl that's not hot, 25-year-old girl that's not going to rely on me or her ex-partner or the government for money, and the 38-year-old that is going to rely on her ex-partner and is going to rely on the government for money. What really, guys, is it even... Do I even need to think about this seriously? If you're going to pick between the 2? Of course not. Pretty easy freaking choice if you ask me, and women would make the same choice if it came to a dude. But yet they've been told that they're such a great catch that they don't think it works the other way around. And they're just clueless, completely clueless. So blissfully unaware of exactly how things work in the world. But don't take my word for it, ladies. You go out there and you have those 3 kids, and then you ditch your partner, wait till you're 38 to try and find a hot younger guy with lots of money, who's 6 foot tall, got a 6-figure bank account, who drives a $60,000 car or more, who has no kids, who has no baggage, who has no ex-wife, who finds you attractive and wants to ravage you day in and day out and tell you how beautiful you are and cook dinner for you and clean for you and provide for your children's future and education. You wait till you're 38 and you go try and find a guy like that. I encourage you to do it. You go, girl. Women power. You're so empowered. You're so independent. So proud of you. You're so beautiful. So wonderful. Idiots. Fucking morons. Right? And if you're sitting there going, oh, well, you know, my ex-partner left me high and dry, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have fucked a dude that was not going to stick around. And if you did fuck a dude that was going to stick around, what did you do wrong? What did you do wrong? Oh, that's right. You don't have any capacity for self-reflection. Because society told you you're amazing and you don't need to change. And you don't need to make any compromises. No. Because you're such an incredible, attractive, appealing woman with all of these attributes that a man would just love to pay for. Yeah. Morons. And more, yeah, Luke Chase. More and more chicks want polyamory. They want multiple boyfriends. Fuck out of my face. Right, you want multiple boyfriends? That's cool. You can have multiple chads. But then don't come crying to me when you end up being a single mother that nobody wants to be with. Get it through your thick head. Get it through your head. Well, it's like that video I did the other day on that lady who wrote in and said, oh, I found this a wonderful guy, but you know, I want to fuck the other guy on OkCupid. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? And Cuck Eli indeed Riff Magos, unless you're Cuck Eli. Taz says MGTOW allows a man to free themselves from female validation and truly lead happy, healthy lives. And I totally agree with that. And now if you guys go to wigtow.net, it says the same thing, like, you know, women who basically reject being pedestalized, reject chivalry, and reject white knights. But kind of got to say to yourself, well, even though we reject the chivalry of the white knights, what else are we doing? What else are we actually doing to contribute to society, to make ourselves better? It's like, well, you know, men are working harder than ever, except for the ones that are just checking out and saying, well, fuck it, I may as well just chill, kick back, right? Some men are just saying, well, I'm going MGTOW. I need so much less money now because I don't have a female to support or pay for, right? So I don't need to earn as much money, and I don't need to spend as much time earning that money. I don't need to sacrifice my energy and my heart and my life and my physiology, my body. I don't need to sacrifice all these things just to make a woman happy, just to pay for things for her, just to provide for her, just to give her everything that she wants. Right? They're actually saying, well, I'm just going to kick back now and just enjoy myself. Who just dropped those dollars? Uncle Baldy, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. And yeah, Riff says it's amazing how little entertainment a man needs when you go alone. That's exactly right. We don't need a lot of entertainment, guys. We don't need... And this is why it's difficult for a lot of us to understand why women need so much attention and entertainment. Why they need to always go out. You know, so many guys don't understand this. I get it. We're wired differently. That's okay. But you just need to understand whether you're prepared to make that choice to put yourself into that situation or not, where you're going to have to pay for everything. If you put yourself into that position, then you need to pay up. Well, you either need to pay up and end up getting probably bankrupted or left, or having your assets taken from you later anyway, or you need to give no money in the beginning, keep your money, only pay for what costs you incur as a person, as part of that relationship. Don't pay for them, right? And keep them by virtue of your masculine traits. Keep them by virtue of good sex, right? Keep them by virtue of being a funny guy and being someone that they admire and respect. And they don't admire and respect someone that kisses their ass, let me tell you that right now. They admire and respect someone who has heart, who has passion, who has his life under control. Irish MGTOW says I should call myself Sydney Morning MGTOW. Actually, guys, I went to T2T yesterday on that note that Irish MGTOW just said. And there was actually a tea there called Sydney Breakfast. And I got the girl there to brew me a pot of tea, and I had like 4 cups of it, just because I wanted to buy it, but it was like $14 for 10 tea bags, and I was like, man, I just can't justify this. Can't justify this expense right now. Which is fair enough. And Brizzy Boy says a lot of women are causing drama as entertainment, and that's actually a good point, particularly for women who are narcissists. They are actually causing a huge amount of headache. Huge amount of headache. Right? If they can't get the entertainment and attention they desire from the partner that's out there working to provide for them, then they will actually turn. They'll actually turn to other sources of entertainment. Now, guys, if you've ever watched women watching TV, look at the kind of shows that typically they would like to watch. Soap operas, Korean dramas, reality TV shows that have got lots of conflict and controversy and arguing and backstabbing. Right? This is the kind of shows they enjoy. So it stands to reason that they also enjoy this kind of behavior when it comes to their own lives, right? Because they idolize, a lot of them idolize what's on TV. So I do, and Taz says, true Sydney, they mirror the mind-numbing dribble of reality TV. They really do. They mirror that, absolutely. And not just reality TV, but all TV. I'm talking movies, mainstream media news, right? They see on mainstream media news that male privilege isn't a real thing. Oh, that male privilege is a real thing. Oh, all you males are so privileged. They see on mainstream media that they're getting paid less than others, even though they're not. Oh, you know, the guys at work get paid $1 for every 77 cents that I get paid. They get paid 27% more than me. For what? For having a penis? Those bastards! So dumb. Why are you listening to this bullshit? If you can't work out that the wage gap is bullshit and that it's a pay gap and that there are reasons for the pay gap which you women make the free choice to create, if you can't work that out, then how do you expect someone to pay you more for your quote-unquote expertise? Because I don't know about you, but if I'm employing someone, I want someone smart, not someone that believes what other people tell them blindly. Wyatt Man says, childish minds are easy to manipulate. Exactly, and that goes for men and women. But women are buying the bullshit more often. And they are becoming childish as a result. Not every woman, but a lot of women are becoming very, very childish, and then their friends are mirroring their behavior, right? Because between feminists, between narcissistic single mothers, between the children of those mothers, and those children then becoming friends of other people and getting them to buy into their bullshit, and the entire female species is basically governed more by emotions than logic overall, collectively speaking. And we wonder why things are going to shit. Clementine Ford, who I did a video on, famous Australian feminist who openly acknowledges she doesn't give a shit about men, and openly acknowledges that the whole point of feminism is not for equality for men, but it's about women, right? And it is. And at least she's honest about it, and I say that in the video. That's the only thing that I respect her. The only thing about her that I respect, that she's at least honest about what feminism is all about. I'll do another video with some screenshots proving this as well. Probably the next week or so, hopefully. I know I'm terrible with doing things when I say that I will do them, but I'm just so time poor at the moment. Taz, I'm going to address that thing about the gyms shortly, because that's also true. And yeah, so the guys, yeah, feminism has no interest in men. It has no interest in men. It's not about equality. It's only about equality where women want equality. Nowhere else. And anyone else who believes otherwise has been completely indoctrinated. I don't even know where I was going with that, but whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna keep my eye out for a cafe, because I'd really love a coffee right now. Really shouldn't be spending money, but you know, I do it so rarely. I so rarely spend money on anything non-essential, because I'm on such a shoestring budget at the moment, that I've got a couple of coins in my back pocket that I can afford to treat myself with. You know, even though I didn't get paid for yesterday, so, which sucks, because it was Anzac Day. But you know, it's a good day to not get paid. It's a good, at least it's not some bullshit public holiday. Yeah, Ricardo says politicians throw the emotional card to lean women voters in their favor. Exactly. It's exactly what happens, because they know that women are more emotional voters than men. It's like, well, what's the point appealing to men's emotions, right, when we can just appeal to women's emotions? Men have already made up their minds, because they know logically, typically speaking, who's best. Although we're getting to a point now in Australia where there's almost no political party that is worth voting for, other than Pauline Hanson and the Conservatives Party. Conservatives, because, well, we need to pull back on the liberalism, and Pauline Hanson because she doesn't buy into this feminist narrative, and she actually calls the feminists out. And she also wants to, at one stage, mentioned that one of her policies that she was putting forward was for mandatory DNA testing at time of birth. So I think it's a good thing. Anyway, guys, I'm glad for those of you who tuned into my Anzac Day stream, because you got to hear the bit at the end of it. I didn't want to let on too much. I didn't want to spoil it. I thought, you know what, for you guys who are religious watchers, I'm gonna bait you in with just a little something seemingly generic, and then give you the good stuff at the end. Taz, yeah, they do treat us men like we're emotionless monsters. And then when we get emotional, they're like, oh, toxic masculinity. Fuck off. You don't even know what masculinity is, let alone what makes us lose our shit. You know what, Media Magna, I'm a little tease. Although women would call me a big tease, but that's another story. Alright, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. Thank you so much again to Uncle Baldy for the very kind donation. I really appreciate you, Uncle Baldy. I'm sorry to shout you guys out, you know, I normally do. Thank you so much to all of you. Brizzy boy, this is the Anzac Day stream, so you'll see it once this is finalized. See, I got you. But yeah, if you want to check out my online store, MGTOWmerch.com, if you want to donate via guys, for now, please don't donate via PayPal, because PayPal is asking me to verify my identity as Sydney MGTOW, and that's obviously not on my ID, so I may not have access to those funds in my PayPal account. I've actually withdrawn everything. I've withdrawn everything from my PayPal account that is in there so far, just to make sure that I can still access it later. But for now, I would ask you guys not to donate via PayPal. If you do want to donate $1 a month, which is only $12 a year or a little bit more, please head over to patreon.com/sydneymgtow and drop a pledge of $1 or $2. I'd really appreciate that. It helps a lot. It will mean that it'll basically be like my PayPal stash, but without having to get screwed over by PayPal. And if you guys want to donate in the super chat, Google has fully verified my AdSense account, so I'm able to access those funds in the same way that Uncle Baldy has. So I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna bounce for now. Still scoping out these coffee shops, see if I can find something. But I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. Peace.